All right, welcome to Auth, part 4. So, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to do all of the preceding lessons as well as connect it to a client. So, step 1, do the first 3 parts. We should be able to do this pretty quick by this point. So I'm going to I'll give it 12 minutes. See if you can get to the point where you've got a resource protected. Go.
Would it be possible to zoom out just a little bit so I can see? Thank you.
Give me a noun.
Eggs. Breakfast shop. There you go.
Why do we go for food?
She was being serious, guys. Bleached or not?
I think you're going to go in.
Brown, color, brown,
I think
white,
you just need
big,
users, right?
small. Yeah, you just need user.
You just
Oh,
need
shit,
users.
I'm making eggs.
Yeah, but I'm doing eggs too, bro. I hear you. I wanna make
Take it out.
motherfuckers
I
log
mean, if you
in.
want, take it out all you want, but.
It's just gonna be the same egg every time.
I'm doing eggs and snakes. Fuck y'all. Let's go. Also not gonna have it done on time.
You wanna protect, you wanna make the users, then you wanna protect the eggs or.
Yeah. And then eggs, has to be password.
Hey, Kyle, can I ask you a question real quick? So if I'm making like an app, and this is posting to login, for instance, is it ever like a good idea to, instead of like having it post to website.com/login, like just do something like one or something where like the user doesn't know what's going on for like security reasons, or is that dumb? Okay, cool, sure.
You want your URLs to be understandable
Mhm.
and, also like, a URL represents a particular state of the application. So you want a user to be able to send that link to someone else or bookmark it or something, you get it in the same state every time.
That makes sense. Or if something goes wrong, they at least know like, let's try to log in.
Correct.
Yeah. Alright, that makes sense, thank you.
Cool. Give me a fist to 5. Fist is what we're supposed to be doing. 5 is I'm protecting a resource. Cool. I'm gonna give it another couple minutes, and then I'll do all of this also, and you can fill in any blanks you have there.
It's supposed to have password digest, right? Okay.
All right. So I Rails new API egg shop. It's on my hands. RVM use 2.6. I use the right version of Ruby.
Breakfast shop.
What?
They said breakfast shop.
Sure.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but.
Or as my children call it, the breakfast store. I go into the breakfast store and go into my gem file. Let's get bcrypt in here. Let's get jot in here. Let's bundle install. Let's Rails G model user. It's Rails G model egg. Let's Rails G controller eggs and users and authentication. Okay. Let's go over to the router. I'm going to make resources, users. I'm only going to do create. I'm also going to eggs are a resource, our finest resource. So, speaking of which, I have like 38 eggs in my house right now. I don't know how that happened, but we bought way too many eggs.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of eggs.
I mean, like that a lot of people. It's like a week.
I did consider like briefly what like whether it'd be more economical to get chickens. That's like it's never the answer. Every friend I know who's like had chickens before like doesn't have chickens at some point. I'm assuming it's not like no, it was actually too good, and I lost touch with my fellow man by saving so much on eggs. Authentication controllers login action.
Isn't it post login too?
Oh yeah, why not? That makes more sense. And then over in the users over in the controller for users, we need a create method. The way you create a user is user.create username params username password is password, and then we send it on back. Done. Then over in eggs, make an index for that. Eggs is egg.all, and we render JSON. Eggs is eggs. Very nice. We'll also at some point need a create method. So we can say the egg we are creating. I'm going to say eggs have a preparation style. Preparation style. Params. Preparation style. And then I render JSON. Egg is egg and status is created. Cool. And then my models, my user model has secure password. Need some migrations. So we'll say eggs have a string called preparation style, and the users one as t.string username, t.string password digest. Nice. Over in my authentication controller, I'm going to say this is login, name of the action. First step, I need to look for the user. Find by username, params, username. Beautiful. If not user, then we're going to do something else. Render status unauthorized. Cool. If not that, well, what about if I can't authenticate them? Maybe. Cool. So, likewise, if I can't verify their password, Then screw off. I need the secret, which I get from Rails application secret key base. I need the payload, which I'll make user ID at user.id, and then I will make a token with those two things. Jot.encode, secret, payload, secret, cool, and then returned the token as token. Cool. So you can log in. Now, to protect a resource, we'll protect egg creation. How's about? So before we do any of that, I want to check for the presence of a token. So I say request.headers, get the authorization header. I want to split it on space and then get the first index. So I can say if not token, then render JSON, render status unauthorized. Cool. And if there is a token, then I want to try to decode it. So I grab that secret again. Rails application secret keybase. Cool. And then payload is jot.decode token secret, and then the user is going to be user.find payload user ID. Cool. And then we can, do all this stuff. One other thing, we need to account for the token being wrong. So we can put this in a block. So we can begin, rescue, and so we'll try to decode that, and then do all this stuff. Elsewise, we say it's unauthorized. And cool. So now I need to abstract some of this stuff out, because this probably want to use this more than once. So I can make a method called def authenticate, and I'll just take all of this for right now, and then take out the parts that don't really have anything to do with this, like that.
I have a question, Kyle.
Yep.
When you, as far as overriding methods,
Mm-hmm.
didn't we use the authenticate method to authenticate users? Are we overriding that name
Nope. We use login. Use authentication controller's login action. This is the application controller's authenticate action. It's different.
But doesn't Jot have an authenticate?
Jot has, that's a great point. Jot adds an authentication method to what?
Its own class.
Nope.
Alright.
To instances of a.
Token?
Let's take a look at where we did it. It's a good one.
So the model.
To the user model. That has an authenticate method.
Oh, because it has secure password.
Yep. Holy, shut up. Yes, has secure password, add an authenticate method to instances of models that have that macro in them. The controllers are not among them. Great question though. Cool, so I put this over here. Neat. So I don't think I've shown you guys this yet. Yeah, what's up, Ivan? What do you want to know about it? Because they all inherit from application controller. So I'm going to show you one more cool trick. I don't think I've shown you guys this yet. It's before action. So with before action, we can say authenticate. Oops, I don't want to put this in the authentication controller though. That'd be silly. Go over the eggs controller. Now I can say before all of the actions in this, I want you to run the authentication method, actually only create. That's how you would read that. And now, I can delete a whole lot of shit.
Oh, yeah, that's super handy.
That is super handy, isn't it?
Wow. And then, is there a keyword except? Can I do that? Okay, cool.
Correct. I want to do it for every single one of these except index. Does the same thing. Yep.
So is that kind of like a Rails we value convention type thing versus writing in your create method authenticate?
Exactly. So before action is a macro, just like has secure password. It's abstracting out all that code. Cool.
I have a question about
Yes.
the authenticate method we wrote.
Mm-hmm.
So, when is this sent back to the user so that it's able to be sent through their headers again?
When they log in, the thing they're getting back is a token. They store the token. They send it back to us.
Oh, okay. So on the client side, the JavaScript shit we write, it will pull it from there, keep it stored there. Okay.
You got it.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's make sure that all this worked. I haven't actually run this code yet. To wit, I know that I need to migrate the database. And let's do 4100. Why not? Cool. Can I post to users on port 4100 this and get something good back? 200 okay. Awesome. Can I log in with that? Awesome. If I take this token and put it in my authorization thing, I'm doing bearer token. Can I post, can I make an egg? So this would be preparation style fried. Yep. Maybe it's something weird. Oop. Try that again. Unauthorized? You're unauthorized. All right, let's debug. Cool. So this happens to you. What are you going to do to debug it?
Read the error like you just did.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Go to your authentication.
Okay, so I got the authenticate method. So this means that like it got to one of these two lines.
You could change the render to find out whether it was the token or whether it was,
I don't hate that. So what if I so I say message no token, brah. Or couldn't decode it, brah. All right, let's see which one of them it was. Couldn't decode it. Ooh, I know what it is. Anybody else catch it?
was the legendary token.
Oh, all that stuff is there. That's not it. I forget this every single stupid fucking time. That's not this one.
They said it couldn't decode it.
Correct.
Did you install JWT?
It's there.
Index 0.
Index 0! Cool, very nice. All right, I made an egg. Sick. If I screw up my token, 401 unauthorized. Cool. So we are caught up. Questions about how we do any of this part?
Yeah. Can you go to your application?
Mm-hmm. All right. So for the client on this, there's only one change we need to make to the server. Any guesses what it is? Yeah. All right, hit me.
Well, this would be very interesting.
In every other language, begin and rescue is called try catch. So this is saying, try to do the stuff in here. If it throws an error, go here instead. Otherwise, we get to here, okay, then just keep going. It's like an if-else, except decoding an error isn't falsy. It throws an error. So this catches the error. Yep.
Can I see the application notes just real quick?
Other questions?
Can you see the authentication control? Wait.
You got it, George?
Something's messing up. Yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Convention, we want to do user ID as the payload.
Or ID. So, can you think of why it might be better to make this ID? Let's take a look at like
That
the
would be better to make it ID?
correct.
Oh. Well, because it's ID in the database or something?
Um,
No.
Nope. Take a look at the examples here. This is like their fake token. Man, these are short. Why? Why make something that short?
Because it's undescript. Would be.
Well, they're not trying to make it like terse just to fuck with you. There is like an actual benefit to doing this, which is not the case with like short variable names or anything else. There is a benefit to making these as short as possible.
Is it because more of your, it's better encoded versus there's more of the information spent on encoding, no?
Nope.
Maybe because like variable names you're not always looking at juxtaposed with their values. Maybe in this case it's easier just to pick apart the key from the value. No. I thought that was it.
Well, that was two.
You disgust me.
Oh man.
Okay, so I hope you're ashamed of yourself. Yep, here's this diagram. So I post over here and I get the token and the response here. It's happening over a network. The fewer characters, the lighter this payload is. The faster it goes.
I thought so. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. If you have a shorter, whatever, I thought the token size never changed. The token size was like
64 characters.
64 characters. So even if it's short inside, then the token length should never change.
No, tokens aren't always the same length. Like, if I start adding more stuff to this payload,
Right, but instead of adding more stuff, what if you're just changing like one of the key value pairs?
it still like could make that shorter. So it's getting shorter.
So is it the signature portion that's always this set length?
Yeah, signatures are always the same length.
Alright, thanks. That was helpful to see.
Cool. Awesome. Anything else?
Okay, so anytime you're doing like a fetch request,
Mhm.
whether you're receiving on the back end, sending on the front end, be considerate of what you're sending over.
If you can make it smaller, you probably should. It's the entire reason that JSON became such a popular format, because there's nothing you can do with JSON that you can't do with XML. And XML is what everybody used before. They're both serializations of data, to call back to stand-up this morning.
Oh, okay.
But XML, which looks just like HTML, HTML is a subset of XML. You have closing and or opening and closing tags for everything. So you have to like repeat all of your keys twice. You don't have to do that with JSON. So JSON became a more popular data transmission standard.
Is it worth like diving in and like, getting accustomed with XML, or is it kind of?
And I think you have higher priorities,
Okay.
would be my opinion on that.
Okay.
And also, like, you know more of it than you think you do. It's XML is HTML, except without any predefined tags. HTML is just a specific set of XML tags, and they have these attributes and whatever else. XML is you just get to make that up. Cool. So let's talk about the client side of this. So first thing we need to do, anybody know what it is?
JavaScript file?
Ooh, before we even do that, it's the last thing we have to do on the server to make this ready for a client. Cores! Can't make a request to it if we don't have that. Pew, pew, pew. So we'll bundle install. And then I'm just going to make a client folder in here. So I'll go in here. I need a HTML file. And I need a Dribble script file. It is so. So some things that we need in our HTML file. HTML files have heads, they have bodies, they have heads, shoulders, knees, and toes. Breakfast store. Cool. And then over here, I'll script in that app.js file. Ta-da! So we want to be able to, always want to be able to listen. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's start with user creation. This will have a form, and it's going to have an input type text. Name, username, cool. It's going to have one that's type password, the name of password.
And you type password right there, just turning those circles here.
Yep, just hides it. Then we'll have a submit button. The value of create user. This will have a placeholder of username. Give this a placeholder hodler password. Cool. So that should allow us to handle user sign up. Pew pew. We also want to be able to log in, right? That's basically the same thing. So we've got sign up. Ah! All right. So they can sign up. They can log in. And then we want a list of eggs. Is this what my life has turned into? You have a list of eggs. And then we'll make another form to add eggs.
What's that? The metaphor of building a stone with the hill forever.
Yes, Sisyphus.
Creating Auth with different
Yeah. I'm unhappy with what's happening. All right, so right now, these could be different pages. It doesn't matter. We have List of eggs. We can add new styles of eggs. We can sign up. We can log in. That's all the HTML.
Okay, so we won't add like an action for the HTML, we'll do that on the JS side with fetch calls and shit, right?
Correct.
Cool.
No good. Yeah, George, stop fucking up, man. Some of us are in a hurry. I'm a monster. I should probably label these forms too.
While George is doing his thing, do you recommend like for us mod 3ers that
Uh-huh.
we go to the values thing at 11 or like?
Oh, you absolutely should. That's gonna be a great talk.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Brian gonna make me cry.
probably.
I think he's gonna make me cry.
Somebody tell me what the schedule for the rest of the day is. I can just pick this up from here, or we can do it later today.
Oh, yeah, so after lunch, at 1 o'clock, there's GitHub in pairs with Jesse and Borg.
Mm-hmm.
Also at 1 o'clock, there's serializers with Ahmed and Cox. And then 3 to 5 is live coding with Ahmed. So there's 2 things at 1 o'clock. GitHub in pairs.
There's nothing at 2? Fuck it. I'll see you guys at 2.